following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.
It is time to rock out Sin City, USA in Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Round number 3 of the 7th season of the All-American Cup Series. This season presented by Harpoon Designs as we are ready to go for 200 miles here in Vegas, the virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Happy Friday night. Friday night's Cup racing here in the All-American Cup Series. I am the captain as we get ready to go tonight. Appreciate all the viewers who are watching. Patty Heller saying it perfect. Yep, it is snowing in Indiana as it did today as I was working. It is snowing in Ohio. It is snowing in different places right now. I think it's the first snow we've seen in over a month, believe it or not, with the weather and how weird it's been here during the winter time. One place we will not see snow at is iRacing. That's a good thing. We'll get to see some good racing here tonight in the race. So appreciate all you guys for joining us. Hopefully you can pass the word on to your friends and family. We are on the air and ready to go here this evening. Let's take a look at the point standings as we enter tonight as the Auto Club Speedway winner, Justin Thompson, leads the points right now by 4. We're Vincent Isabella, Christopher Heller, Mike Husby, Stephen Miles, your top 5 there in points. As you see, Diego Sainz with a big gain last week, up 15 spots to the 8th position. He sits 25 points back. Still a real tight battle here after 2 weeks in the point standing. Still plenty of time for people down here at the bottom. Telder, Matthew Weeks down here in 27th. Got some work here to be done by those guys. Of course, last week, it was Weeks who ended up on top of Telder at the end of the race as they ended up wrecked in turn 1 and 2, along with a lot of drivers who wrecked on the final lap before Thompson took the win. Driven Motorsports with HDR leads the team points right now over TI, 25-11. Last season's champions there, 3rd. CX2 Pro Edge, your top 5 there out of the 10 teams that are signed up. Of course, the Dream Team's a brand new team, so they kind of already started kind of in the hole as they entered the race last week at Auto Club Speedway, but had a pretty solid showing in their debut. Manufactured points, 5 manufacturers going at it this season. Chevrolet already pulling out to a pretty good lead over their partners Pontiac, Dodge, Toyota, and Ford right now in their respective orders. Rookie of the Year standing still pretty tight. And going to stay tight throughout unless somebody just runs away with it. But Isabella with a 1-point lead over Thompson. Steve Ritter, Diego Sainz, and your Daytona winner, Joseph McWhorter, there in the top 5 in points as we go. So, got about a minute or so before we get into qualifying for tonight's race. Tonight, going to be a little bit different weather-wise. As we get the fixed weather here tonight, iRacing fixed weather, which is going to keep it consistent. Track temps should still go up a little bit, I think, as the sun stays out, but then as it starts to set, if we get towards the end of the race, you might start seeing the track temp kind of cool down when it's all said and done. But should be some pretty slick racing here. I think tonight tire wear is going to play a big role. A lot of grip early, according to some of the drivers, but then it kind of falls off towards the middle and end of the run. I was hearing of drivers who had almost like 60% fall off of tire wear, so which is a pretty high amount over a 35 lap run. So it's going to be very important you save your tires as you're out there on the track, especially if we get to some long runs. Of course, last week 11 cautions in the Auto Club race. Going to make that kind of tricky, but I think this mile-and-a-half track always produces some fantastic racing as you see the checkered flag come out. And we will get qualifying started, shall we? As I think I counted 38, maybe 39 cars getting ready to attempt to qualify. The good news is that means that nobody goes home, which is always the best scenario. As cars head out on the track, I should go ahead and warn everyone from this side of the broadcast channel. I did go to work over the weekend, and with help from your partner here, Casey Carrington, also from Matt Telder, who's in this race, and also from Tyler Dalton from the Sim 500 League on Monday and Sunday nights, we got some work completed. And we got some cool things to show you here tonight as qualifying begins. Let's go hit last week's winner up, and that being Justin Thompson in the 3-car. Thompson getting very free there off of turn 3 and 4. Second lap should be the fastest way around. Let's see as they cross the line and get started here. He's going to be actually the first one across the line. Maybe Colin Curlis, but we'll see. And there goes Thompson. Oh, that is never how you want to finish a qualifying run. The good news is he'll get to play for 2 here in just a second. Here's Colin Curlis in the 54. And as McCorder becomes the first one to cross the line, 29.804. Van Pelt 809. Curlis a 99 with a 7 at the end. McCorder's still there at the pole, and there goes Henry to the top, 29 777s. It's a pretty good Vegas number, I'd say, huh? That would make total sense for a 777 to be the pole lap here this evening, huh? And he's got it right now. McCorder to second, Van Pelt the third. And Carrington, 772, goes to the top. It's my old area code. And it was funny because I was hearing during practice, Carrington talking about his car not being the fastest out there. I overheard once he said, damn, 12th fastest. What in the world's going on? Thompson back to the top, 70 with a 5. These guys are ripping off laps before I can get to them to click on their names here. All right, let's check out Mark Whitley here. Yeah, thank you, Nerdy Warrior 12. I actually was fixing it as you were talking there to me. It's something I try to get through before qualifying, but some people jump in there at the last minute, and I don't catch them. Whitley, 19th right now, 29.96, and he's done. Oh, wow. Not a good qualifying effort there for the champion from last season. You have to wonder right off the bat with him coming so close to getting that victory last week and then ended up losing it there, getting involved in a wreck in the first race of the season. Remember the champions? Jinx that seems to be out there. You hope that Whitley's not getting that bug also. As Isabella gets her loose, he's going to the grass, so his lap will not count. Does a little more than that. Who we got out here? So Matthew Weeks out on track. Let's check out the 11 car. Yeah, when people get into the session at the last minute, it's kind of hard for me to catch them and make that change. As Weeks goes 21st, 29.929. That's his first lap. And Louis Bosa, or Busa, I believe that is, the rookie there, LB3, if you will, goes P2, 29.74 with a 7. I like that LB3. That's kind of catchy. As here comes Season 5 champ Matthew Weeks across the line. Make that Season 4 champ. And he goes P11, 29.82 with a 3. And let's see, the only other car out here that's going to run a qualifying lap, and here he, runs out of time, unfortunately. That being Justin Ray. So Justin Thompson carries the momentum into Vegas. It puts himself on the pole, which, of course, is presented by MHD Pole Award. The MH Designs Pole Award, I should say. Mike Husby Designs. So congratulations to him. And we go from there. So let's step away and get the national anthem here from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway as these guys get 5 minutes to warm up. And we'll get you ready to go racing for 200 miles here in Vegas.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, back we are here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And warm-up going on right now. Got a couple minutes left before the green flag waves for 200 miles of racing on this mile-and-a-half track. Of course, Justin Thompson winning the pole, and he was going to be our feature tonight when it comes to getting to know a driver. Of course, Thompson brand new to the series as he made his debut at Daytona, finishing in 13th, I believe it was, and then went to victory lane there in Auto Club, and now coming to Vegas, looking to get 2 wins in the first 3 series. 3 races. Let's get to know the 3 car. He spent 3 seasons in Asphalt Pro, 2 seasons in the Dirt Oval Pro, so he knows all about being up there in those big series. Does Thompson? He's been sim racing for 25 years. And actually does not use the virtual mirror, which is interesting to think about because the virtual mirror everybody uses on iRacing, maybe except dirt guys. But that's probably more of a dirt trick that Justin does because dirt, again, they don't have spotters. They don't use mirrors. They, if you listen to the podcast this week, actually with our guest host who joined us on the show, Chad Coleman. I almost lost his name in my head. He is a race director on a dirt track and actually plays the role pretty much a spotter of all the cars in the field, which is kind of interesting to hear that and then hear how Justin talks about that. And let's bring him up here and talk to him because he's the pole sitter tonight. And a big shout out to him on winning this pole award this evening. As soon as I find him, and there he is in Race Day Channel Numero Uno. And we bring the man up here, the pole sitter tonight in a 3-car. Justin, congratulations. We just read off the information about you here in the league this evening and the virtual mirror part. I found it interesting, but I understand why, because obviously as somebody that's ran on dirt, obviously dirt drivers don't use mirrors. They don't use spotters or anything like that. Is that where that trend came from, or is that something you've always done?
That's something I've always done. I've never been one that was good at judging distance in the virtual mirror.
Mm-hmm.
So I use the real mirrors that are in the car. That way I can tell where my actual car is at when I try to go up above somebody or something, or pull up in front of them. You know, I don't want to cause a wreck, so I don't use virtual mirror.
Well, obviously you did a great job tonight because you, first after you pretty much died over in turn 2, let's just put it like it is. I mean, you straight crossed up yourself and put yourself in the outside wall. You come back tonight, run a 70 and get the pole tonight. So good job on coming back to get that.
Yeah, I went into turn 1 and I felt how much grip the front end had in qualifying and had too much on my first attempt. And, you know, had to pull the backup car out and go out there and give it one more go. And it turned out pretty good for me, and I was able to put on the pole for tonight. And, you know, I was almost able to hold it almost flat-footed all the way around 1 and 2 on that second attempt. So
that's scary with the horsepower you got in this car, and obviously not the downforce that you're used to having in maybe the any of the cars that followed up this car. So, man, great job on that. Congratulations, and let's see if you can go back-to-back in victory lane tonight.
I'm going to give it a valiant effort. You know, it's with as hot as it is on the track right now, it's heating tires up pretty bad. So we'll see if I can manage tires good enough to be in decent shape at the end of the race tonight.
All right, bud. Hey, best of luck to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Justin Thompson, the pole sitter tonight here in Vegas. Let's crank the music up and get you the starting lineup here for the Sin City 200 in Viva Las Vegas. Justin Thompson on the pole with a 29.705. He'll start next to LB3. Might have to copyright that if he lets me. Lewis Busa, I believe it is. It could be Bussa, but we're going to go with Busa the third. Casey Carrington, he'll start there on the inside of row number 2, alongside Zach Henry, Joseph McCorda, the Daytona winner, Jackson Van Pelt there in row 3. Row 4, Zach Rogers returning tonight alongside with Stephen Miles. Trey Holmes, the Virginia driver, starting on the inside of Stephen, go down a row, Wesley Donaldson there in the 61 car. Matthew Weeks, he'll take row number 6 alongside Mike Husby, who got here at the last minute. I got stuck out there on the highway or something. Kyle Ethier, Louis Accardo in row number 7. Row 8, Vincent Isabella, Steve Ritter, rookie Tony Ball, and Colin Curlis. Ball was pretty quick at Auto Club, so look for him to be up to speed here tonight, potentially in Vegas. Tobin Keefe and Dylan Rosenberg, row number 10. Row 11, Christopher Heller and Craig Martin. 2 disappointing qualifying efforts right there. Mark Whitley below Heller and Josh Dillon in row 12. Jonathan Smith, top 3 there at Daytona, alongside Brandon Barkuski, who's looking to turn his season around after 2 races. Cam Ingram and Brad Delph there in row 14. I think Robert Mathis is actually going to start on pit road along with Quentin Sutphin, as Mathis was graded to be 29th along with Nick Leo. Kyle Hall, Tyler Whittemore in row 11. Nick Terrell, Chris Lewis, row 12, or row 17, I should say. Quentin Sutphin and Carson George, the curious little driver, will start there in 36th. The rest of your starting lineup, Ben Bondo and Justin Ray there in row number 19. Josh Shelton, I think another driver who actually hasn't even taken the grid, so I think he might be somewhere out on the strip somewhere having a good time. And Jake Vinosky going to be the last starter of this supposed to be 40-car field. 200 miles, 134 laps here tonight on this 1.5-mile track. 79 degrees, no taking, I got to fix that. 44% humidity, partly cloudy skies. And, of course, the series presented by Harpoon Designs. Check them out on Trady Paints. They're home of hundreds of paint schemes. If you're running a Toyota paint scheme, you're likely running a Harpoon design paint scheme, especially from Gibbs. And oh, by the way, those Toyotas looking pretty sporty in Daytona right now, huh? Appreciate the viewers here tonight. I saw over 20 already. iShock YT, Michelle Ciceri, guessing on that one. Of course, Nerdy Warrior, Quentin Sutphin checking in. Decided to race after he wasn't going to race. Nerdy Warrior 12. Appreciate all you guys for watching here tonight as we come to the green flag. Pace car turns left. Sin City, Viva Las Vegas. Who goes to victory lane? Race number 3, All-American Cup Series. Sees it now. Our cameras presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums. They are at TrackCams22.com. As you see Thompson getting the lead on LB3. Zach Henry there to third in the battle for fourth. As McCorder right there on the 9 of Carrington. Thompson picking up right where he left off in Auto Club Speedway. That's McCorder underneath Zach Henry for the third position as they try to catch up with LB3 there in the second position. That yellow Pennzoil paint scheme. Is Henry going to hold him off? This track's going to spread out. You're going to see cars from the bottom all the way to the top. You're going to see fast speeds. Again, this is one of the faster mile-and-a-half tracks that you get to run on iRacing with the progressive banking. 18 at the bottom, 19 in the middle, 20 at the top, identical to Homestead, except with a lot newer of a surface. Well, I say a lot newer. Surface was done 3 years newer than Homestead, but has worn out not as quick as that track in South Florida. Wesley Donaldson, the WBD diecast 61 car. Doing a good job here so far in this race. You see Bussa in the 84 has lost 2 positions. McCorder and Henry have gone by. Here comes Carrington in the 9. And move him up to 4th. Zach Henry back there in that 4 car. Returning here tonight, you see Stephen Miles in the Marion number 1 car back there. This track opened all the way back in 1997 as Zach Henry sweeps around the top side and takes the lead from the 3 cars. So Henry looking pretty sporty. His partner Taylor watching it chat as the 39 goes P1 here on lap number 6. That's telling me that this middle to top groove already coming into play, but you know, Justin kind of mentioned it. Talked to a couple other drivers off the air. I mentioned the tire wear at this track with this car is pretty substantial. So it's going to be something to be careful of here later in this run. You want to make sure you're not driving this car too hard. And McCorder, look at him going to the front after a rough race last week at Auto Club Speedway. The Daytona winner to the front. The second lead change already. Eight laps in the books. Let's go back here. Pretty good. 4 wide in Vegas. Are you kidding me? Mike Husby said, I don't want any of that. But that was not on my bingo card tonight. That was Whitley. You had Christopher Heller. You had the 6 of Louis Accardo. And then Husby was in the middle there. Oh, you're welcome, Taylor. Taylor thanking us for the color changes. Yeah, like I said, I went to work all weekend last weekend and got it. And thanks to Casey and Matt Telder. And Tyler Dalton will help me out with all this. Let's pause that. Up on the 09 here, you see Husby has to check up. Checks up Whitley, and here comes the 8 of Heller. I mean, Kyle Ethier could have made it 5 wide, maybe. That might be a good sign of the way this race goes tonight. Got to be honest with you. 10 laps complete already. You see the racing still intense here mid-pack. Kyle Ethier in at 2. The 56, that's Vincent Isabella. The top 3 run last week. I mean, everybody's on top of another right now. I mean, go up front, look at Thompson climb the boards. Top 7 cars all right here. Thompson up to 2nd, and then let's jump all the way back here to 27th as they're 2 and 3 wide. I don't know if Lewis has tried to block there or what that was. Or a cat jumped on his wheel, one of the 3. He's only got about 31 cats. Inside of the 12 of Josh Dillon. I was kind of caught off guard with Thompson saying he ran all of 1 and 2 wide open and almost into 3 and 4 on qualifying runs. It's like, man, this track does have a lot of grip, which is interesting. That tells you when a track has grip like that, it is going to eat tires. Like I eat pizza or cake or ice cream or insert any food here, not a fish or liver. Back up front, McWhorter under attack as Thompson tries to get around him. Carrington up to 3rd. You wonder if Henry burned his tires off as he starts falling back into 39. As Lewis goes by for the 4th spot, Zach Rogers there behind him in the 4. Up in the wall goes Smith in the 72 car. Got too high entering the corner, and there are some bumps over in 1 and 2, by the way, we got to talk about. Every time you come to Vegas, you got to bring up the bumps. They can be your worst nightmare if you hit those things the wrong way going into the middle of 1 and 2 where the tunnel is. And you see already some damage on the 09 who checks up everybody. There's Keefe. Are we going to go 4 wide part 2? In the wall goes Curlis. Got to hold on to her. But this track, as I said, some contact there between the 6 and the 09. Now, not to be confused, that 6 is actually a 28 car, but something with the number didn't go right there. So he's actually in the 6 car is Luis Accardo. His actual number in the league is 28, just FYI. Vegas, built back in 1997, of course, hosted its first race. Mark Martin went to victory lane on what was then a 1.5-mile track with 12 degrees of banking. It was a flatter 1.5 miles. And in 2006, they did the repave, and they turned it into the transitional banking that you see now, or progressive banking, I guess would be more NASCAR terms. Of course, Roush won the first 2 races here with Martin and Burton. Of course, it's had its share of winners throughout. Oh, easy, easy. Curl is getting up there to the 35 car. Say Tony might throw some hot sauce at him here in a minute. Don't want that. And if you get a chance, make sure you do subscribe to the Scalicast episode number 6, released this week, called The Iron Man. It was actually released last night. A little late on it. Stephen Miles welcoming in a child this week, early in the week. So a big shout out to him. By the way, he's running in the 5th position right now. And, Taylor and I were patient about it. We were like, you know what, we're all a team here, so we're going to wait. We waited until Wednesday, recorded it. Thursday, put it out. And good podcast with Chad Coleman. At 09 is on. The plate's going to hook the 48 into the wall. They go. No caution yet. And Cam Ingram is stopped on track, and there's your caution. We'll come back to the podcast. That 09 was all types of out of control. And Tobin Keefe gets into the 48 of Cam Ingram, the Clash winner, bringing out the first caution here at lap 23. And you saw it right there on camera what took place. 09 was fighting a loose race car. And unfortunately, when he overcorrected, you can see him up in the wall just battling hard. Rosenberg all over his derriere there, takes him 3 wide. And you can just see the back end right there coming around. And unfortunately, Cam was there to catch him. And the best news there is you see Cam kept it off the wall. The only damage he's going to have, if any, is going to be to the door of the 48 from where the 09 kind of T-boned him once he got squeezed into the wall. Yeah, I mean, I don't even see any damage on the 48 right there. Caution out, and leaders are coming to pit road here. And I mean, everybody's on pit road, all 37 lead lap cars. And one of them doesn't stop. Bando in the 83 car going to come on through. Everybody else should be 4 tires and fuel with the 4 extra sets of tires. Race off pit road. McOrder with ease. Thompson, Carrington, LB3, Miles, and Donaldson. So I was starting to share as the caution came out there. We'll get a replay of this one more time, by the way. Our guest host in the podcast this week was Chad Coleman. And unless you know Sim 500, which is the series we broadcast Sunday and Monday nights, you don't know Chad Coleman. Chad is the Iron Man of that series. Now, we'll throw some numbers out there at you. The most starts in this series right now, and this is according to the Sim Racer Hub website, which I'm going to pull up real quickly over here in my other window. I believe, I know it's Casey Carrington, but I believe the number is somewhere in the 80s in league history. Give me 1 second, I'll pull that up. 90 starts, okay? Casey Carrington, 90 starts is the highest number in this series. Chad Coleman over in that series has 1,180 entering Wednesday night. Let me repeat that number, 1,180 in that league. Now, let's compare apples to oranges here. All-American only runs on Friday nights. This series over here runs every night. So Chad runs like 4 or 5 times a night. That adds up after about 7 or 8 years of having a league. And plus, they run year-long instead of like a 14-race schedule, so on and so forth. So his story, though, really cool. Make sure you get a chance to listen to the podcast. It talks about how he got started back in with the league in like NASCAR 2003, the old computer game, or sim, if you will, that came out before this one. And on how he works on a dirt track in Georgia. And so many cool stories there with Chad. So make sure you check out that podcast. Is released, and where I was going with that is the Vegas track comparison. At least I know Telder's worked on it, and we haven't exactly scheduled it yet, but we are going to schedule it. There is a IndyCar driver that has a IndyCar win at Las Vegas Motor Speedway that we will probably have on the podcast in the near future. So looking forward to that conversation and see if he can remember back to that day in 1999 and some of the cool stuff he does on iRacing now and so on and so forth. So let that be a little tease for the future. All right, caution out, lap 26. As McCorder, Casey Carrington with a good pit stop there, comes out second. Stephen Miles now going to be third. LB3 going to be fourth. Matthew Weeks, top 5. Appreciate your viewers watching here tonight. Always feel free to say hello. Love talking to you guys and hearing your thoughts. You can share your thoughts on what we might see this weekend or Monday. I hate to be that guy, but let's just go ahead and be real. It's not looking good in Daytona the next 2 days. As we come to the green flag, as McCorder takes off. Carrington, Miles, Weeks, your top 4. Everybody gets it up to speed here again. As Rogers and Whitley battle here for 9th. Everybody else pretty much single file up in the top 9. You see the 8 of Heller to the inside of Trey Holmes in that 88 car. That battle for 11th. Weeks and Miles battling each other. I would hope not. I mean, I did have to adjust my microphone. Telder saying audio sounds low, so let me know if you guys are not hearing anything too, or hearing me not as much. I did adjust my microphone a little bit, turned it up. I know at the beginning I noticed my audio was low, and I noticed that when I hear my headphones. Like, I like to hear myself kind of faintly in my headphones, so that I know at least my microphone is on. So, the cars might be lower. I try to work on the audio on my end. Cars are kind of hard because the different cameras, the different audio settings, it's kind of playing in limbo. It's like I could set a setting each race and say, all right, that's going to be where it goes, like where my setting will go for the race, and then I'll go to the next race and it's totally off. Now, in fairness, again, Telder does have about 32 monitors, 41 computers, and 35 soundboards. So it could easily be something on his end. As Carrington under attack from Matthew Weeks. It's a battle for second. And Weeks up to P2. Matthew having a pretty good run here to start, up 9 spots. He's not the biggest gainer. That goes to Mark Whitley, up 17 right now from the, let's see, 23, 23rd position, up to 6th. Kelder must be messing with his computer because he would have probably cussed me out in chat for saying what I said to him in a joking way. As the 84 off the pace on the top side. Not sure if he caught the wall or just had to get out of the gas. I don't see any damage there in the 84, so looks like LB3 doing okay, and that's Steve Park throwback. One car we should mention, look at this 3 car back here, Justin Thompson. Not sure if he had a speeding penalty on pit road or whatnot, but had to restart in the back. And the 3 car, the pole sitter, working his way up through the field already. Just took the 25th position for Brad Delph. And obviously Thompson with a little bit of issues on pit road. You're going to get it out of the way, get out of the way early so that you have time to make it up. A little bit of adversity there for the 3 here early in this race. McOrder under attack. Here comes the 11 car. Matthew Weeks does have a 1.5 mile win in his career here at All-American, and that came at the Chicagoland Speedway in August of 2023, so that was season 6 last season. But here he's actually not going to be able to grab the lead. He's going to fall back into the clutches of Casey Carrington. The 9 trying to get around the outside there. Stephen Miles now in the 1 starting to come into the picture. Hey, Brantley, you've probably heard this tradition plenty of times being around the Cup garage or around the Cup teams. What DW always say that if you had a baby sometime during the week or whatever, usually that week you went to victory lane. I'm just saying, could Miles be the guy tonight? Named the child Boston after a relative of his. Pretty cool story there. Congratulations to the Miles family. Unscheduled, maybe not unscheduled. Carson George had a little trip to pit road for a split second there. Not sure if it was a getting loose or whatever, but he is on track still rolling. You ride with McOrder down the back straightaway, the Nellis straightaway. Getting right up there against the boards. Top of the turn 3 at Vegas drives a lot. Watch from this view here. I'm sure Casey's going to yell at me for going this camera. Picks on me all the time for it. Ooh, a little free on entry there as those bumps in the middle of the corner. Brings it down into the middle part of the track, which is tricky because you're running multiple bankings there. You got 20 degrees up here where he's at now. Then you bring it down below the black line. That goes to 19 degrees, and now you're straddling, which makes the car loose. there's Carrington. Oh, no, slide job. No, don't do it, Case. He ain't there. Oh, my gosh. Casey trying to slide her. Yeah, Wesley Donaldson joining the battle. There's Mark Whitley now. 6 cars within 0.7 of a second for the lead here in Vegas. Well, if Casey slides up and gets into McOrder, we might add 6 cars piled up there. You see the cars just dancing around. As Craig Martin on pit road, Josh Shelton also on pit road. Not sure if those are, I'm assuming, unscheduled pit stops. Good fighting up here at the front. I mean, there's fights everywhere. Unfortunately, I've only got one camera to track. At this battle here, you got Ether to 54 back here side by side. You got Zach Rogers side by side with the 84. Jonathan Smith back here. There's 6 cars under a blanket here. For your enjoyment, let me get you guys the link for the timing and scoring if you'd like to enjoy that there on the stream. You can do so. Open it up there in the second window and you can kind of see who's running where and what lap times and all that different good stuff. As now the battle on for second is Wesley Donaldson. A WBD diecast number 61. He is a guy who creates his own diecast and stuff. You want to get a hold of, follow him on Facebook there. If you, for instance, ever wanted a Zach Henry paint, I believe he could actually do that. I think he does custom cars like that. So let's go back here to the 10th position. Zach Rogers, Jackson Van Pelt, who had a rough start to the season there, but running top 10 right now. There's the before mentioned Henry in the 39. So 48 laps complete. We came to pit road at 23. So simple math there says 25. Hey, there's Chad Coleman. All right. Chad Coleman watching over on the Facebook page. Oh, hold on there, 8. Hell, they're getting a little loose. And Colin doing some lawn service over here. Girl is the 3G car. Looks like a, as I keep mentioning each week, it looks like somebody put together an actual ARCA paint scheme on that car. So 50 laps complete as we watch the top 2 now start to spread out a little bit. And there's Whitley and Carrington. Of course, last week when they went to war with each other, of course, that ended with Casey getting crossed up across the nose of Whitley and putting him in the wall. Craig Martin back there, the 22. Craig Holmes there in the 88. Oh, Craig Holmes trying to slide job himself there across the nose of the 88. Don't want to do that. The only man who's not afraid to put teeth on the front of his car, Craig Martin. The 52 laps should get to about lap 68 or so. As Chris Lewis up the track. Get off the pace. Not sure what's going on with the 111. Oh, it's getting to that point in the race, Chad, where they wreck all the time. I mean, heck, they wrecked on what, lap 5 tonight? Oh, caution out over here, Cam Ingram. Again. The 81 of Nick Terrell, the 87 of Kyle Hall. Cam Ingram not having a good night. See where this started. Oh, little hookage. Ooh, big hit. Hall does a nice job of just kind of backing it into the wall. I don't see any damage on the E7. Oh, whoop, that could have been bad. 44 got collected also of Tyler Whittemore. Get you far chase here and show you, which by the way, I think I'm going to call the far chase the crash cam from now on. We'll show my crashes from this camera all the time. I want to look at that from one more angle as the leaders come to pit road here, lap 55. Race off pit road. Looks like Mark Whitley going to get it. Whitley, McCorder, Donaldson, Casey Carrington, Stephen Miles, Matthew Weeks, Heller, and Zach Henry. Your top 8. All right, so caution out for the second time. Let's find a driver. And we get one to go here. We got 2 to go here, so we still got a minute before we get the green flag. I always get distracted because, like, all of a sudden I'm talking and I feel my voice get kind of nasally, and I'm like, oh, don't be getting sick now. We don't need that. Especially in the week you're supposed to be off. I've had that happen a couple times. We don't need that. Find somebody up here in the top. It's kind of tough because I'm trying to circle through people who are. Let's go back here to the 15th position. And talk to Kyle Leith here real quick. As he runs 15th. Kind of on the struggle bus a little bit here right now in that 2 car. But Kyle, you got a copy?
Yeah, what's up?
Hi, dude. You were fastest in practice, but you're not fastest in the race right now.
Yeah, well, the first run I tried to save my tires and I dropped back, and it turns out you don't really need to save them as much as I thought. I think I need to just need to go on this green flag. That's what I'm going to do on this restart. But seems like I've been saving them good, but almost too much.
Now, you were right behind that view for 4 wide.
Yes.
Early in the race. Did you consider going 5 wide?
No, not even a chance.
What?
I was shocked they went 4 wide. It was too early for that.
Okay, Tuesday or Thursday night, would you have tried 5 wide?
On lap 8?
You know
maybe
dang well
on,
you would have.
Maybe on Thursday, just because the trucks are stable. These things are not stable. If I hit the apron, I would have went flying.
All right, man. Well, hey, good effort. Looks like it's been fun out there so far. Some tight racing, so we'll see if we can get you up front there.
Yeah, thanks. Hopefully I'm gonna go on this restart. Just keep an eye on me. If not, we're in trouble.
Well, if that happens, then I won't talk to you again, because the last time I was on board with you, it was during the green flag at Daytona. And,
oh, that's right.
yeah. But Chris Lewis isn't in front of you either, so.
He's not. I'm not looking at the bumper.
Best of luck, bud.
Thanks.
Kyle Ethier, the 15th place car there in that Rusty Wallace throwback. As we come to the green, lap number 57. As the Harpoon boys up front, first and second, as Whitley leads, McCorder second, and then Carrington, Wesley Donaldson, and Heller your top 5. Starting to see some of the cream rise to the top, as they like to say in racing. Miles, Weeks, LB3, 7th, 8th, 9th, Zach Rogers, 10th, Trey Holmes up to 11th. Sometimes in these races, you might not have the fastest car, but you can work your way up with strategy and good pit stops and be able to just maintain during their green flag runs, and all of a sudden you'll be up there in the top 10 competing for a top 5 and maybe even a win. I see some damage on the nose of the 8 car. Oh, okay, he's clean. Ryan with Donaldson, no, into turn 1. Not a lot of off-throttle time on these fresh tires. Turn 3 at Vegas reminds me a lot of the old Atlanta Motor Speedway turn 3. You kind of go sweeping into the corner. You don't really have to like apex it in or arc it in, as they say. You can just kind of just send it right into the bottom line there. Miles in that Marion number 1. Good run to the top side here. Can he make it stick, though, outside of Donaldson? Almost got the wall. Ooh, Van Pelt up there into the outside wall. Watching Matthew Weeks kind of work his way back up through the field. Let's check back on Justin Thompson the pole sitter, winner last week from Auto Club. Running now in the 17th position, so he's been able to make up some ground, but not a lot. As Barkuski crosses up the 6 there, gets him a little squirrely. Oh, Leo almost getting into the 88. That could have been bad. And now the 3 wide with Ethier up top. Fantastic racing here tonight. Oh, up 6 getting the wall that time by. Just close to everywhere you race right now. Right with Thompson, there he is. Barkuski out his window. There's Tony Ball in the 35 car. Yikes. Brandon going to stick it in there 3 wide. Tony thinks about it twice and gets out of it. That actually helped Thompson in the end clear for position. So stuff there. As we complete 100 miles this time by. I just wonder if something looked weird there. We have 2 paint schemes matching up in one here. We've got Dale Jr.'s 88 National Guard car and the 48 Lowe's car all in one paint. And I think that's something to do with either the spec map or something isn't matched up with that 88 car tonight. I don't think it's something on my end, but let's see real quick. We'll update the paints and see what happens with this car. Could be something on my end as we watch the battle for 4th. Heller slowly matriculating his way up the field as he'll take 4th away from Wesley Donaldson. And McWhorter's starting to fall back a little bit now into the clutches of Carrington. Trail. Let's see if it updated. Nope, still got the issue with it. So, it is what it is. But an arrow block there from McWhorter. Carrington trying to get the run off the top side. Of course, these cars back when they were raced, the arrow block really wasn't a thing, and if it was, it really wasn't talked about much. You always had that arrow push term, which you never hear anymore, and I think that's purposely done because it got worn out. Anytime somebody got behind another car, oh, the arrow push kicked in. As Carrington slides in front of the 73, takes 2nd. Unscheduled pit stop for the 27 of Quentin Sutphin as he comes to pit road. Oh, the 8 got loose. See how Bobble and Wesley got out of the gas, and that's going to kill his momentum. That is a train right there going into turn 1. So Whitley leads by 0.8 of a second. Carrington second by about a half second over McWhorter, who's got about a 10th over Heller, who's got a 10th over Weeks, who's got a 10th over LB3, who's got a 10th over Donaldson, a 10th over Zach. As you're seeing the trend here, the times are close right now amongst each other. As we come to 60 laps to go this time, probably one more pit stop to get to the finish. Taylor Henry with the most generic answer I have ever heard to, hey, who are you cheering for tonight in a race? And she says, quote, on YouTube, I don't think there's anyone I'm rooting for in the truck series currently. I guess I'll root for whoever wins. Donaldson with a sneaky run there, top side. And trying to get around Heller there for position. Miles right behind him. 84 right there, and you see Zach Henry also there in that battle. And then you got two Napa cars back there with Isabella and Rogers. Back there running 10th and 11th right now. And then the first big gap really you're seeing is from Isabella back to Trey Holmes in the 88 car, as mentioned. Let's go back here as Ethier under attack. As Bando in the 83, the Red Bull car. Steve Ritter back there with Mike Husby. Further back here, there's Josh Dillon, the Surge number 12. Well, that'd be a hell of a mix right there. Surge and Budweiser. I'll put that under a list of things I wouldn't do. As Vinovsky getting loose, he caught that apron. That's one of those tracks where the apron is actually a little bit of a detriment if you don't hit it right. Robert Mathis back there, the 62. Chris Lewis hanging on, 28th. Whittemore and Kyle Hall back here. And then Jonathan Smith, top 3 finisher from Daytona on the struggle bus. And 31st is Barkuski is cutting the grass over off turn 4. And the struggle bus continues for the 25. Trying to get himself back into a rhythm. On track, he took a little bit of time off, I believe working on some personal stuff, and then has returned and unfortunately had some issues. Just 2 cautions so far in this race, so definitely not on pace to match last week's 11, which is a good thing. Had so many cautions last week that Joseph Penn, the admin in the series, actually got the headache award per Kyle Hall's awards each week that he gives away. So a big shout out to Joe on winning an award. Uh-oh, Lewis off track. He's cutting the grass. This car getting kind of ill handling here. Are we getting a lot of loose exit just off throttle? Is it a tight loose? Let's ride with LB3 here. Let's go visor cam. Let's watch his hands here. On throttle. You see, obviously he's turning right, so he's sliding the car up the track there a little bit. And we go down to 3 and 4. Again, sweeping entry here, so you go right to the bottom. You can't go to the top if you want. You see how much wheel. So not much wheel. Fighting right, fighting big loose there, big loose there. So yeah, too much throttle. You can see the car swing around there and go for the grass. So obviously it's a matter of who you're around at that time. And obviously very loose on the exit. I appreciate the viewers watching here tonight. Should remind you to check out Facebook and Twitter. You can check out the Captain Esports Network pages. Just look up Captain Esports Network and give us a follow there. As Kyle Ethier on pit road here. This 31 laps. You know, it might be a scheduled pit stop here. Trying to short pit, maybe throw a little undercut in. As here comes Whitley, the leader, to pit road. Gonna bring Isabella with him. So lap 86 could be the final round of pit stops here. No, it's definitely not, because there's still almost 50 laps to go. So whenever I learn how to do some math tonight, we'll be good. Still got one more stop after this to go. Four tires and fuel, 14.7 for Whitley. Good stop. 09 on pit road back there. And that hands the lead to Matthew Weeks for the first time tonight, getting himself a bonus point for leading a lap. He is bringing the train off 1 and 2. Pit road, Casey Carrington is in, by the way, leaving his pit stall. Good stop for him, 14.6 in that 9. Let's see what he can do with that Dodge, where he ends up coming out there compared to the leaders, especially now with the fresher tires, where he rolls out. Yeah, definitely, if you get a chance, check out the social media pages, but more importantly, we appreciate you watching each and every week here on the Captain Esports Network, as we officially, starting this weekend, hit 6 nights a week broadcasting races. And once we get to the second week of March, you will see every night but Saturday nights on track. As here's the battle for the lead. 3 cars. McCorder trying to get around the 11, and here comes Miles with him. He sends it down to turn 1, gonna maybe try to slide Weeks here. Nope, not able to do it. As Husby's on pit road, so is Donaldson, Rosenberg. As McCorder's going to try to come to pit road. That was late, and he made it, though. That was close. We'll get back to the battle here for a second. Let's get over to Donaldson's pit stop. As 4 tires and fuel for the 61 as he gets away. 15-1. Kind of slow on his end. There's McCorder to his pit stall. Let's go back to the battle for the lead. And they're going to come to pit road. As you saw, the 84 had to evade real quickly. He's going to lose a little momentum there with that. I'm thinking they called out their pit stall, but who knows? I don't have the audio. Wait, there's McCorder leaving the pits at 14.9, and now the leader's in. I say that, I used to put the audio on in my ears, but then it got really good. My audio got really good at going on the air accidentally. So I was like, you know what? From now on, I'm just going to keep the ears off. And if I miss something, I miss something. I'd rather have that than somebody throw a bomb on the air that you don't want to hear. 14.7, 14.9 for Weeks, 15.1 for Miles, 14.7. Let's see who that was. I had that 14.7. But anyways, there's your new leader, LB3, Lewis. And he's going to come to pit road in that Pennzoil car, locks it down, got to get to that cone right there at 45, does so and about wrecks it. And that hands the lead to Heller in the 8 with 40 laps to go. Four tires, see the left sides lift up on the 84, and he will pull away right there. 15, make that 14.6. Good lap for him. Ritter with a 15.3. Delphi 14.6. Here comes the 25.11 teammates, the 8 and the 39. By the way, hello, Mrs. Heller, if you're watching tonight. Haven't seen her say hi yet. Miss Patty. $14.9 for Heller. Let's see what Henry pulls off here. Should have already 15.1. Yikes. It could have been worse, I guess. So a second ago, Casey Carrington passed Mark Whitley for the lead. And now takes over the lead of this race. Going to credit him for passing Henry for the lead, but I know at my timing in scoring a minute ago, it had Carrington behind the 77. You know what? I can't seem to find it in my highlights. Well, either way, that's your lead battle right there, first, second, as Carrington and the 77 of Whitley. And it's kind of here we go again, the virtues of, or the, I say virtues, what? The repeat of Auto Club all over again. Vincent Isabella third, 4.5 seconds back. Zach Rogers now fourth. And McCorder, your top five. Of course, a little bit of the joke that came out last week was the joke that I created that caution with Whitley and Carrington. When I made the comment of, well, Whitley did a great job dominating the year before. Is this Casey's shot to finally beat him? And as they went to turn 3 on that same lap, Casey made the accident into the wall and cut off the nose of Whitley, basically trying to get out of the wall, and spun himself into it. And brought the caution out, and it was like, whoa. As teammates battle here, as Miles and Ethier. As Weeks just in front of them, battle for the 6th, 7th, 8th positions. As mentioned, one more stop to go as here comes Holmes sitting inside, going to go 3 wide. Zemirs, Ethier been all over 3 wide all night. And goes blowing by him. And then Tony Ball goes, I thought Ball was going to stick it in there. I was like, no, don't do that, Tony. And here comes the 3 car back into play. Oh, Tony caught the grass there in the tri-oval. Almost lost the car. Good save. This is intense right here now. And at the edge of the top 10. Quentin Sutphin, the 27, unscheduled pit stop for him as the struggle bus continues to be out. As here comes Whitley. One lap separation on tires. Whitley pitted 1 lap before Carrington. It's just there a matter of who can save the tires the best. You would think Carrington has the advantage with 1 lap newer tires, but that's not necessarily the case. Depends on how much burn you put into them. With 30 laps to go in the All-American Cup Series, round 3, presented by Harpoon Designs. Where's Brown? Oh, and Whitley gets the outside wall. Did Carrington finally get the break he needed? As Kyle Ethier back on pit road. See if we can go back and see what happened. He's already in the wall here. And Whitley just lost the nose here, or just maybe made a mistake. Let's see, he gets a little free there. Nothing wrong. Nose to tail into 3. Pretty identical lines, and then Whitley slides up a little bit here. He got loose, and he actually squared up the wall pretty solid there. That could have been a lot worse than it really was. I say it hurt Whitley, but here he comes. I think, yeah, he must have hit that square enough to where it did not hurt the car at all. Let's back off this battle for a second because these guys here are at it. The 3 and 35, 2 of the newcomers to the series. Wrong one. They settled out, and there's that. Look at that old school number 6. I like that. Unfortunately for Shelton, they're running in the 35th position. As Wesley Donaldson comes to pit road to 61 for his final pit stop with 26 to go. The window's open for these guys to make that final round of pit stops. Everybody should have tires with no problem. As battle for second, because Mike Whitley has come to pit road. I was going to say, wait a minute here. I did not catch Whitley coming to pit road, and here he's in, right back there behind Craig Martin, 4 tires and fuel. For the champion of season 6, looking to break the slump that he's kind of started off here this season. And 14-7, and here comes Carrington right behind him. Appreciate the viewers who have stuck around here this evening. I want to give you guys a big shout out for watching. Of course, checking in, saying hello. We had a pretty big number earlier. I think we had 30 at one point in the race. But of course, there's other things going on tonight, so I can understand. As Weeks, Trey Holmes now on pit road, Tony Ball, Zach Rogers. Let's see where Whitley comes in. There's Whitley right there to the outside. He is going to pass Carrington for the lead right there. So can Carrington make up the one-lap tires? You would think that's not much, but it can be, especially in the long run. Whitley, though, kind of caught in traffic right now with these cars right here. As McCorder on pit road, Stephen Miles coming in. Nick Leo's on pit road. There's Mike Husby. Haven't said his name all night. "45 miles an hour into your pit stalls." And Husby having issues getting into his pit stall back there. As Thompson comes to pit road, McCorder staying out. And caution is out. Oh! Oh, this is going to get very awkward in the CX2 chat. Josh Dillon with the caution. And wait a minute here. Mark Whitley has an issue. Something not right with his car. You can see he's trying to go. And finally it does. Did it jump out of gear or something? That was weird. All right. After that, I'm a firm believer that there is a bad luck jinx on the champions. All right, let's see the caution. With 20 laps to go, it changes the complexion of this race entirely. You see Steve Ritter going by Tobin Keefe in the 09. Tobin's going to try to come to pit road. And back behind them is where Dillon gets turned. There's a whole lot to clean up here, so cars are on pit road. Let's cover these stops real quick. There's Zach Henry, McCorder. LB3 is going to be second. Actually, it's going to be Steve Ritter, Louis Accardo, and then Henry, and then Lewis is mentioned, and then Chris Lewis, Brad Delph, Justin Thompson. Well, these guys are going to make out pretty well here. Mark Whitley's getting the Lucky Dog Award. Let's... question here, what happened to the 12? Oh, there's a checkup with the 91 to 56, runs him over, and Heller gets into it. So there must have been some miscommunication coming to pit road. That's what I see there. So to 35 and the 91. 91 shuffles low, and he must be coming to pit road here, I'm guessing. As he is going to slam on the brakes, and then the 56 runs over to 12. 8, nowhere to go. Shades of Sterling Marlin in 2002 when he went to victory lane in this race. Actually got turned sideways coming to pit road. It actually got the lucky break and got back to the lead and won the race. All right, well, this, boys and girls, makes us shuffle up the old Yahtzee game. And let's see what we got here. We got McCorder now leading this race. Steve Ritter is going to be second in the 16 car. That Leaf Guard, number 16. Louis Accardo third. Zach Henry now going to be fourth with Louis Bussa the third in fifth. Chris Lewis sixth. Brad Delft now up to seventh. Tyler Whittemore eighth. Brandon Barkuski ninth. Jonathan Smith will be 10th. And then Mark Whitley is going to be 11th. He got the Lucky Dog Award. Justin Thompson is 12th. And then Christopher Heller is your last car on the lead lap now in 13th. Casey Carrington going to take the wave around. He'll go back to the lead lap, along with Trey Holmes, Kyle Ethier. Let's see, Zach Rogers, Matthew Weeks, Tony Ball, Vincent Isabella. Who else is going to take one? Let's see, the 61 is going to get a wave. Nick Leo. Mathis is... I have to keep track of where the leader is here. That's going to determine everything here. Kyle Hall, Miles, Bando, Van Pelt, Husby. All these cars are going to get wave arounds right here. So don't be surprised you see the yellow lights come back on. So we're going to go from having 13 cars back up to roughly 32 on the lead lap. And you see the pace car lights are back on, so. This makes it tricky because, yeah, you can let them go green, but then you see everybody coming back around, and then you got to get lined up because you're going to have now a slew of cars in the inside lane when this restart happens. It's going to look like an old school restart from like the 80s. Now, last week at Auto Club, remember, we had a little bit of a long green flag run towards the middle end. Then the caution came out, and then from there, mayhem broke out. Do we have another round of mayhem here in these last 16 laps? We'll come to 15 laps to go. Steve Ritter with a chance to get his first series win. Louis Accardo, another potential. And then Zach Henry there behind him as we come to the green. 15 laps to go. Seatbelts on. This is going to get wild, I think. As Henry trying to hold off the 84 for the 4th position. And the other factor we got to play in the get into play here is the tire issues, because now you've got cars without tires. And I mean on pit road also. As Barkuski looking underneath Lewis, going to bring Jonathan Smith with him. And Smith going to light up that right rear a little bit. Oof. Oh, 84 gets hooked. And somehow they save it to 39-84. I was looking for him on my monitor. Couldn't find him. Everybody stays straight, no caution. But I mean, he was on top of the 39 at one point. Meanwhile, up front, here comes Accardo. And Steve Ritter in the battle now. Oh, they're going to get tight. Oh, this slider. Yikes. Oh, I thought Lewis sent it in there deep. Or the bombs car's going to get tight here. McCorder giving him room. Here comes Ritter with a bonsai to the bottom. Oh, and Ritter's hard into the wall. Obviously got hooked, but not sure if he came up or the 6 came down, but wrecking with 9 to go. And I'm sure somebody here is unhappy. It's already happening there. Let's back it up again. Let's go to the crash cam. Ah, the 6 come down. Try it again here and see this. And we'll go back and look at the other replay of the 84 and 39 a few laps ago, if I can get to that real quick. Boom, that's a lick. I can't, Ritter did nothing wrong there. He's holding the bottom and everything. All right, so right about here somewhere is where actually it might have already happened here, it looks like. So let me slide up a little bit more. Yeah, there's the damage already, so let's add a little more. Alright, so it's going to happen right here. Let's Happens off turn 2. '84's trying to slide up, and there's some contact right there. The question being, it looks like legit contact, so let's go nose cam of the 39. Of course, the nose cam is actually that cam. Yeah, it's just an unfortunate deal there. All right. Well, then. So we have had some cars come to pit road, it looks like here. No, you know what? I stand corrected. We have not had some cars come to pit road here. All the leaders have stayed out. I had to look at the laps again, what lap we were on. McCorder has stayed out. Of course, Lewis is second. Lewis Bussa, or LB3 as I've called him all night, is second. Brandon Barkuski is now third. Brad Delph up to fourth, and then Casey Carrington has climbed his way back to fifth after getting the caution he needs. What I am seeing here, though, is Mark Whitley back in 26 now. So what happened with the 77? Because I know he took the lucky dog at that last caution. There's a lot of things going on in this race for one guy to be able to cover. Let's put it like that. I'm trying to follow everything here. Oh, an iRacing deal happened according to Brantley, who's the spotter and owner. Of course, he runs Harpoon Designs, but also spots for Whitley. So he got the wave, or got the lucky dog, and then the wave arounds actually got to go around the lucky dog, which, if I remember correctly, it's actually backwards in actual racing. I believe it's the lucky dog and then all the wave arounds. Right, the delayed restart. Okay, now that would probably do it, but still, it should have been the lucky. Is what it is. Unfortunately, that's a bummer. All right, coming back to the green, 4 laps to go. McCorder in the 73. You see the 84 with some right side damage running second, and all of a sudden here is the 25 car. Up to third, and now up to second, Brandon Barkuski. And caution's back out as they're wrecking over 3 and 4. Couple cars scattering. That is the 3 of Thompson. One of the cars involved. And hello to overtime for a second straight week. Let's add the 7 of Vanoski into the wreck. Were they 4 wide again? Kyle Ethier. Oh, and then Husby gets clobbered. Yep, there goes the 62 into the wall. Can I get the crash cam? It's my new camera. Crash cam. I'm naming it. I know it's far chase, but look right here. Are they about to go 4 wide here? Yes, they are. Second time tonight we're 4 wide. And it did not go well. Jackson Van Pelt, Wesley Donaldson gets a piece. You see the 07 gets the wall, and then the 61 just off the pace. Not sure what's going on there. Unfortunately, cautions breed cautions. As Steve Ritter joins us in chat, and understandably frustrating after, you know, we'll be honest here, a little bit of luck coming its way as he was able to jump the field and be at the front there with the pit strategy and had himself in position in unfortunate circumstances there. Land him on the wall as we will go to overtime here. Whew, it's been another wild one. Another good race, but wild one. See the schedule coming up here, by the way. Rockingham next week. So now we're going to go from a 2.5 to a 2 mile to a 1.5 miles to a 1 miler, and then to a 1/2 miler at Bristol March 1st. Well, hopefully you can come join us. Season 7 here in the Captain Esports Network, and what has been some wild racing so far in these first 3 races. And we could see a repeat winner tonight as Joseph McOrder has been able to take advantage of staying out all the way through a late caution during pit strategy to take the lead. And now has Barkuski there to his outside, who was involved in a wreck earlier. You got the 84 who was involved in a wreck. And then you got the 9 of Carrington, who was trapped a lap down with that caution, but has got through the pack into the lead, or up here in the lead pack, and a chance to win this thing. Brad Delph up to 5th. Chris Lewis is somehow 6th. He was a lap down earlier in this race. Zach Henry with damage from the incident with the 84 is 7th. Jonathan Smith, who struggled early, he's 8th. And then Matthew Weeks 9th. Tony Ball up to 10th. So, like I said, you throw all the car numbers into a Yahtzee can, and that's what we got here. As we'll come to the green and go to overtime here. All right, coming to the green. I have to say, got to be careful. That spinning tires, it gets spun. There's the 4 going around in the back. And we'll do it again. Big pile up here. The 4 get run over. I think the 83 got him. Whitley gets involved. The 8 of Heller involved. Oh, and the 56 got turned even further ahead. All right, let's pull the crash cam out. We had 2 different wrecks in 2 different places here. They check up on Miles got into the 56. We'll show the other wreck here in a second. I'm trying to see what led. There's a couple things I'm noticing here that I'm going to catch and I want to bring up. First, let's go to the other wreck. First things first, in most leagues, you cannot go until the car goes in front of you. Is it ideal to wait for that? No. Sometimes you just have to. So let's go rear chase here, or actually, let's go back far chase, and let's move our attention up to about right here where this 111 car sits of Chris Lewis. Normally, you want to try to hold about a 1/10 of a second gap. Because anything bigger than that, you risk trying to jump the start and piling up the field from trying to go. As you see, the 72 gets right up on the back of Chris, which then tempts the 35 to go, and then Lewis doesn't go. And then something with the 72. I don't know if he just lost the momentum or what. And it's going to check everyone up, and then Miles finishes off the 56. I think that would be the rule of 5 or rule of 4 in that case. I don't see anything terribly malicious there. But let's go back to behind them. And here's a good example right here. So you got, get the camera spin around here real quickly. Hurry up, thank you. All right, so you have, look at the gap there between the 11 and 44. So something happens there where it just checks everybody up. The 44, let's go on board with him for a second here. But obviously he was there behind the 11 and kind of falls off of him. And it causes everybody else to check up behind him. And of course, when you're trying to anticipate a start, actually doesn't look as terrible either. It's people trying to anticipate the start, basically, in the end. That's what I got out of that. I mean, I can't really say anybody was, like, maliciously back or anything. I mean, you could question a couple people maybe laying back a little, but it looked like just more of a timing of the start, and it didn't work. I mean, it's not the most fun thing to do here, but the best way to keep yourself out of trouble here is you see the car in front of you. You can't go until he goes. So, and you know that with the rule of you go after the pace car pulls off, you kind of are stuck where you are. Like the 84 right here is stuck until McWhorter goes. Delph can't go until the 84 goes. See, look, Lewis checks up. Let's see, and now he gets a bad restart. And that's how it all gets going. You got a guy back at 7th trying to time the restart there, and he just lost a ton of momentum back there. The good news is they didn't really wreck. Carrington trying to battle for 3rd as they're going to come to the white flag. Carrington tight on that 84 as McWhorter leads final lap. Three tenths of a second down to 2 tenths. Joseph McWhorter went to victory lane in Daytona and is going to take advantage of pit strategy and a late race caution and brings it off turn 4 and sees his 2nd win in 3 races. McWhorter hits the jackpot at Vegas. Joe started in the 5th position. Had a competitive car. Wouldn't say he was the fastest car, but cautions timed out perfect with the way the pit stops were there. And the 73 gets him some. Gets himself another victory. Joe gonna burn it down. And just like he did at Daytona just a couple of weeks ago in that 73 car. As let's get him up here to the booth and talk to the man in victory lane here tonight. Sometimes, Joe, the strategy just comes your way, and it looks like you guys with your team kind of had both ends, where Mark obviously pits early in that run. He gets tires and fuel. You stay out, and the caution comes out, and it helps the team out go to victory lane no matter what. But it looks like it's you that actually goes to victory lane in the end.
Absolutely. Wow. Well, I can't believe it. 2 wins already on the season. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. I mean, I was kind of debating because I kind of felt like a caution might come out with how racy everybody was getting after that last green flag pit stop. So I was kind of debating just to maybe run it out to 125, like 119, do like a 15 lap run just to see if we can catch that caution. And because I built really tight. I was really good in the early part of the race, but man, I got really tight. I think it was partly because of that contact between me and Mark on accident. But man, that was a fun race. That was a little crazy there at the end. Everybody kind of threw everything they could at me during the race. I had to defend for my life for a lot of that race to protect the lead. But man, it feels good to get the 2 wins already on the season.
Yeah, obviously that's a big help for you, and I know it's been a up and downer. Last week there was a lot of frustration with the Auto Club race the way it went, but obviously to come back here shows that the fight that you have in this 73 car, and to be able to get the 2 wins here early, it's got to feel pretty good.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, last week it was just, I always try to prep really good for these races, and I read the rule book and everything, and I tried to ask for a clarification, but didn't quite get the answer that I thought I was supposed to get because I wasn't really 100% sure on what I was supposed to do because they had quickie cautions set last week, so I didn't know if I was supposed to pit and then they clear, or if I was supposed to let the car behind me go and then I pit. Like, I didn't know what to do because there was cars that were getting damaged that I had to let go before going into pit road. So I wasn't sure which black flag they were going to clear last week. I wasn't sure if they were going to clear the pit road closed because I was gonna make it. I was gonna make it to pit road before the pit lane closed, but I had to wait on I think it was like the 10 or whatever it was last week, and it was just a miscommunication, and it was frustrating. So the mindset was just come out here and have a really good points night, and we fought all night long, and we pulled off the win, and hopefully. That's hopefully we can keep this kind of a performance going for the rest of the season and not have another auto club.
Well, obviously it worked out for you, so great job tonight, man, and send some shout-outs whoever you like to.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to thank Red Camera Racing for all their support over the last few years. I can't appreciate them enough. They've been a really great partner of mine. So go check them out at redcamelracing.com, harpoondesign.com. Brantley does a lot of really hard work. So go check him out at harpoondesign.com. They have all kinds of beautiful schemes. You see mine, Mark, and John's beautiful custom paint schemes each and every week. Go check them out. Also go check out Reaper Speed Labs, reaperspeedlabs.com for all your setup needs. Let's see, who else am I forgetting? All my teammates, John and Mark Emery for my spotter tonight. He did an awesome job coming in. He came in a little bit late, but he did an awesome job calling that race. So big shout out to him. Brantley again, John, Mark, those guys, they had really good races going. It's a little bit of a shame that, they didn't get the finishes that they really deserved. I mean, Mark had a little bit of an issue with the steering wheel cutting out on him. So, it's just one of those things. You for putting on an awesome broadcast. I really enjoyed the last two weeks of watching your broadcast. So I can't wait to go back and watch this one. The admins for working really hard, all the drivers for putting on a really good race. Like I said, it was a little bit of a cluster at the end, but you kind of have that sometimes with late green, white, checkered. So big shout out to all of them, and ready to go into wherever we are next week. I forgot where we are.
Rockingham.
Rockingham. That's going to be a good race.
There you go, man. Great job tonight. Congratulations.
All right, brother. Have a good one. Thank you.
Yes, sir. That is Joseph McWhorter with a win tonight, second of the season already. And congratulations to him. And you could argue that you would not have thought that it'd be the 73 car that had have both wins for the Harpoon Design racing team. You'd think it would be Whitley with the way his season went last season. But now, like I said, I think we can legit say that maybe there is a championship jinx or something, as just seems to be interesting what is going on. As we take a look at the final results, we'll talk to the other top finishers. Barkuski second, as LB3 third. Casey Carrington, Matthew Weeks, your top five. Brad Delves, Zach Henry. Tony Ball, Stephen Miles fights back to ninth. Ball fighting back to eighth. Nick Leo with a top 10. Chris Lewis 11th. Wesley Donaldson 12th. Trey Holmes 13th. Tyler Whittemore 14th. Dylan Rosenberg 15th. Christopher Heller 16th. Nick Terrell finishing in the 17th position. 18th to Robert Mathis. Tobin Keefe 19th. Mark Whitley 20th. Jonathan Smith 21st. Kyle Ether 22nd. Van Pelt 23rd. Kyle All 24th. And Vincent Isabella 25th. Zach Rogers, Craig Martin 26th and 27th. 28th to Justin Thompson. 29th to Quentin Sutphin. Mike Cusby 30th. 31st Ben Bando. 32nd, Jake Vanuski. Louis Accardo, 33rd. Steve Ritter, 34th. Josh Shelton, 35th. Josh Dillon, 36th. Colin Curlis, 37th. 38th to Cam Ingram. 39th, Carson George. Justin Ray in the 40th and final position. As I think about this a little bit more, I'm going to bring up Barkuski here, who gets himself a runner-up finish, something I'm sure he's going to be pretty happy about with the way this season has gone for him as he is getting back onto the track and getting back into rhythm here. But something to ponder here is, I know since at least the Captain Esports Network's been on the air now for 3 seasons here, makes you wonder if being a champion in this series is not only a one season hex, but maybe a permanent jinx or something, because we have not seen really many of the champions the past couple seasons continue with their runs into the next season, which I find interesting. All right, Brandon, enough rambling on that. Congratulations, man. Welcome back, first off. And obviously good second place finish for you tonight, luck or not.
Yeah, definitely wasn't luck. I think I was turned twice coming up through the field. I definitely feel like we had speed. We started in the back. We got moved twice out of the way. Most guys in this league just want the caution to come out when they wreck, so they've just been kind of spinning back into traffic and whatnot. So I chose to, be a man and spin it into the grass and keep the racing going. But I do wish a little bit of the give and take was a little bit more. I think we're getting there. We had some good stretches in this race, but I would overall just like to see just more give out of people. Just getting run over twice kind of stinks. I think my teammate Chris probably had this thing maybe 1-2, and he got taken out by some kind of calamity that happened out there. I think maybe by a lap car or something. We were on a fuel strategy where we were going to save to make it to the end. So, just definitely wish the racing would just get a little bit smarter, especially after watching the final lap of Auto Club last week. That was pretty embarrassing.
Is that a matter of just a respect thing, or is that something where people are using these first couple races as newcomers or whatnot to get themselves established into the league, as showing, hey, I can do something and be good, and having to maybe step over the line a little bit to show it?
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it is, and we can just see it when we're racing. There are a lot of new guys, and maybe sometimes running with new guys, it creates a little bit of just different scenarios and different environments. But just from what I've seen so far, I mean, there's no reason we should be having 5-10 car pileups on restarts. I know last week at Auto Club I restarted 35th with wheel damage and finished the race in 17th on a green white checkered. I mean.
Wow.
I think we can just be a little bit smarter. And I know Casey works his butt off to keep this thing running, and he's done a great job over the years. So I think we just overall, everybody just needs to take that like half step back and just run the races out to completion. Because I think we've proven when the racing's green flag, it's great with this car.
Mm-hmm.
We just want to see more of that.
Understood. And I mean, the good news is we get to go to a fast track next week that produces great racing and is not a short. Oh, it's the Rock. Oh, that's going to be interesting.
I think we've had solid races there.
Oh, we have.
I think that one I feel better about than the week after that.
I was trying to make a light moment out of that, but no, the Rock can produce good racing, and of course with the refresh, just the $1 million question is this Gen 4 car, because we know the Rock again eats tires. So, gonna be interesting. But hey, man, good to see you back on track. Good second place finish for you, no matter how many times you go through the lawn or anything. But congrats on that, and send some shout outs.
Yeah, just to Casey, just for continuing to keep this thing going. It's always fun coming back here, so I appreciate him and all his efforts. And then my buddies Zach and Chris, love racing with them.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job tonight. Congratulations on P2, 24 spots gained tonight. That's pretty good too. And congratulations on that, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you.
You too, buddy. Brandon Barkuski finishing in the second position tonight, not shying from his words, and obviously well done on his part, and so on and so forth. And as for Mr. LB3, as I've named him, I think he's going to follow the train of last week of following Isabella and not getting out of the track and getting on a plane and getting out of here. So. Is what it is, and we appreciate obviously the guys who stuck around to talk, and what was a wild race here this evening. That I like to put the highlights up at the end of the race, and it's like this week I can actually do. Last week at Auto Club it was tough. I was like, man, I'd end up playing the song for like 20 minutes straight if I tried to do the highlights. So we'll get that here in just a second. Let me see if Casey is usually pretty spot on with the points, but I know with the way Sim Racing Hub updates, it can be a minute before you're able to get the points up. So give me a second. Let's see if we got an update. It looks like we do. How about that? Ooh, and more updates on the screen too. Nice job by Sim Racer Hub on this. Every time it seems like I come on, there's a new update on something. All right, let me grab the old Snip app real quick. Just give me a second here, and I'll show you the actual point standings on the air. Unfortunately, again, one-man show, so let's get to the top 20 in points here. All right, and you're going to see a little different up here at the top of the points after 2 races because of just some of the inconsistencies of some of the guys in the field. But look at this. Joseph McWhorter leads the points with a 9-spot jump to the lead by 1 over Christopher Heller. Stephen Miles is 3 points back. Justin Thompson, 4 points. There, make that 5, 6 points back. Vincent Isabella is 9 back. Barkuski's only 11 back. That is close right there. First 3 races in the top 10's 21-point separation. You've got 31 down to 15th, 40 down to 20th. That's pretty tight. I mean, that's all almost one race right there that everybody is within after 3 races, and that just shows you the wildness we have had with these first 3 races. As a matter of fact, look over here at the lap number. McWhorter had the issues last week, finished laps down, but yet he is the points leader and is, 20 laps shorter than anybody else. Brad Dell, 14th in points, only completed 246 laps. Look at Lewis, 229 with 1 incident point, sitting here in 12th. So it just shows you this point standings right now is very tight. And we go to Rockingham next week and in Bristol. And I think the men from the boys are going to get separated here very, very quickly. All right, let's enjoy the rest of your Friday night. Enjoy your weekend. Everybody stay safe out there with the weather, especially up here in the Midwest. Now the snow is starting to make an appearance back again. And always remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!
copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain Esports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for their continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation from the Captain Esports Network.